Ron wrote a little book called The Alphabet. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a very short poem, 1,000+ pages. And so I decided to read it. And I would read it one section a night if I could do it, and then I would write a response. My responses were sometimes 5,000 words long. And they would take lines from Ron, and then they would respond to them in different ways. It also worked to help with the proofreading of the book. So Ron reads the yellow, and I read everything else. Ron is reading the alphabet when you hear his voice. This is the opening section, the January section from A Pair of Dice Will Never Abolish Chance, which has quoted text from Paradise by Ron Silliman. The Where Are You of Jan.
Word slip, does type hands around the pen a clamp a clip.
Working it out, as he works it out, as he must variously outwork the words.
We celebrate the agreement of a new year, the head shrouded, bright in a knit suit.
The year begins, and the text tells us this so that we can understand its monthly structure.
The list is sweet.
The poem is a listing of sentence, out and out, over to one side.
Nothing in your ear larger than New Hampshire, the oven off.
No lager either. Most sentences clear and red, a few partially mysterious, a scallop wrapped in bacon, wrapped in an enigma.
By the pepper grinder, a red pen has run dry.
The implements of writing are main characters in this play, as are I, and she, and he, who change places as the spirits move him. Slight pressure and a gentle warm near my temples.
Books slouch on a shelf.
Return to details, return to literature as subject.
Little blue book, but blue here is a different hue, too dark.
Blue is the blue of writing, blue-blooded, but not all blue is properly blue. I change into jeans, forgetting I have to button myself into them.
This is not a sentence.
It is a textual representation of a sentence. A sentence is time. One sentence was clocked at 30 seconds, but many finished by 2.
The words merely crawl across the page, leaving a trail of syntax.
Like a snail trail, language leaving behind its essence, which is sound, sense, and emotion, sometimes shape, like the curling top of a 2-story egg. I recall staring at that form of the A as a child in Portugal, wondering why that other allograph existed, wondering how I would ever copy over something so complex.
Great archetypal coil of an old tube of toothpaste.
The word toothpaste, the first of the unconventionally hyphenated compound words in this poem. It appears that the text has been copied from text previously set, capturing the hyphens added at the end of the line.
Thermostat set at words per minute.
They hoped for a perfect thermostat of 60 words a minute.
Cut plum limb, rag of right.
The plum is the dominant leitmotif of this poem and appears elsewhere in the alphabet, here representing primarily change over time, seasonal change. This plum's image is also the reminder of a body of text on a typed page, the second state of this poem, after the handwriting and before the typesetting.
Sparks are a sect.
Try having a poem without sparks. It's hard.
That the paragraph ends.
A little bit of subjunctive to question the mood.
Eye tracking to center of ad, or scanning to where and how new paragraph begins, reading and thinking at the same time.
Text allows for searching by the eye, what we are best at. We search poorly by hearing, or smell, or taste, or even the touch of.
Your nipples harden to my touch.
And they rise to greet as the penis also does.
A parrot from another letter stares in his cage.
The faux writer, empty of thought, trapped in the prison of tradition.
The diaphragm's jellied spermicide leaves a slightly metallic taste.
I remember precisely the orgasm that created my son, that propelled my sperm around the diaphragm cupping jelly and to the waiting ovum. It made our neighbors knock on the wall, our neighbors who groaned like wounded wildebeests almost every night they weren't fighting.
The hat is the form of a demand.
I certainly am.